Good afternoon for everyone visiting the webinar today from the Gehrman side of the world. Good morning for everyone visiting from my side. Welcome to Vesper's Oils webinar, our bi-weekly effort to keep you updated on anything new in the oils market. As you've come to expect, we always do a roundup of topics across the oils complex. And today you'll see me. You might prefer to see Maria, but unfortunately for you guys, then it's me this week. But lovely to be here. And of course, as always, joined by the well-esteemed Gehrman.
Hey, yeah, Feiko, thanks. Yeah, no, I think we will need to check who people prefer based on the number of views. We will do the correlation analysis. How many views we get when we have Maria? How many views we get when we have you?
I think this is one instance where I don't necessarily want to see the numbers. Let's just go off what we feel and say it's a close tie. Maria this week is visiting the PLMA in Chicago, so she is close to me here in Chicago. But in 2 weeks' time, she'll be back on air from Amsterdam. But today we'll dive into the market. There's a lot to discuss today. I think a lot happening. We'll discuss palm oil, of course. I think the key takeaways from the IPOC. I think then we have geopolitics, which need to be discussed. I saw you share a very interesting article also in the WhatsApp chat earlier about the de-escalation between US and China, or is it de-escalation? Then we'll look more at some of the softs, so with rapeseed and sunflower oil prices. And then we'll wrap up with a bit of price outlook, looking forward again to 2026. Make sense?
Sounds like a good list of topics here.
Perfect. And we'll start off with palm, of course. The IPOC conference. It's a major event. What have we heard there? What are the key points that were announced there? What are the takeaways?
Yeah, thanks. No, that's good topic because especially when it comes to palm oil, and we have those major conferences such as IPOC or POC, so in Malaysia, Indonesia, or sometimes in Globe Oil India. So these conferences tend to drive prices. So normally when people receive information there from speakers, they go to the market and take positions or change their positions. So in this case, what was notable, so I would say the majority of the speakers, so one of the big things, of course, was palm oil production in 2026, the forecast, and the majority of the speakers said that they expect a decrease of from 1 to 1.5 million metric tons next year in palm oil production, which is very significant if you think about the B50 this year in Indonesia, which increased consumption. Some of the organizations, so GAPKI, Indonesian organization, was, let's say, among those who said that production would increase. They mainly talked about Indonesia, but they were among the minority. And then one of the organizations, CPOC, said that CPOPC said that production will be flat. So the majority of the speakers said production might be much tighter next year for both Malaysia and Indonesia. And also the big topic was, of course, land seizure in Indonesia. I think those who follow palm oil, they know a little bit on what's happening. So the Indonesian government is taking control of some illegal plantations, put it this way, and people are concerned that under the governmental management, the yields will be lower because maybe less fertilizers will be applied or something. So people are actively discussing how this will impact also the production volumes. And I know that Glenau Economics said, yeah, that it's important to follow it, but it's not necessarily gonna have an impact short term, but maybe rather in the longer term, we might see impact from these land seizures. And lastly, of course, there were quite some discussions around the Indonesian biodiesel program.
I think biodiesel is a good one. I think something also to elaborate on. But then a takeaway from the first takeaways from the conference are that supply side isn't looking great, or there was a bit of consensus there.
No, exactly. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, and on the biodiesel, yes. So basically, again, those who follow palm oil know exactly this is the largest driver of consumption. So Indonesia looking to use more palm oil domestically with B40 biodiesel program this year and looking at B50 next year. But a lot of, let's say, discussions in the market, whether it's possible or not to implement it next year. Is there enough financing? Is there enough capacity? Is the from the technical point of view, are the transportation means ready for it? And at the conference, I would say the majority of the players said that 2025 could be too soon. Yes, so, 2026, apologies. So next year it might not be implemented. That's what was more or less a consensus. At least there is a small chance of it because of the not enough financing, production capacity for biodiesel might not be there. But what was interesting to hear that GAPKI said that there could be an intermediary step, such as B45. So instead of going straight to B50, we can go into B45, which is more realistic. And if it does happen, this will be very bullish too, because it will require around 2.5 million metric tons of additional palm oil volumes. So yeah, so I would say overall conclusion about biodiesel was that B50 in 2026 unlikely, but B45 is something that could be done potentially.
I always love that it's halfway through November and we're still discussing whether regulation plus 26. It feels a little bit how I used to make my homework when I was a child. Always wait for the deadline and always last moment anything could change.
Yeah, exactly. That's a very good example. Yeah, very good parallel.
But I'm sure people will be working very hard to get everything sorted in a as clear manner as possible. But then maybe based on all of this, what would your price outlook be for palm oil?
Yeah, I would say based on what experts said, and we agree with that. So big factor next year will be a potential decline in palm oil production. And if we think about it, even if B50 is not implemented in Indonesia, right? No B50, we still have B40 this year, which is working. So we checked consumption in Indonesia, and it increased sizably over this year. So B40 is there, it is real. So, and next year, basically, yeah, consumption will stay at a strong level, even if there is no B50, but production will be less. So that's, I would say, a very strong factor. Uncertainty coming from these land seizures, another bullish factor, and also, let's say, some bullish factors coming from other oils, which we can discuss later. So I would say overall there is quite a strong upside price risk for the next year, and I don't know. Some buyers are asking us how should we maybe act. We of course don't give purchasing advice, but I think currently prices are below 1,000 if you look at the BMD on spot. So I would say the market sentiment that palm oil will likely be going mainly up in the coming month. Of course, it's not always a straight line; it can go a bit down, up, but on average, it's an upward direction. That's what we hear.
Clear. I think that's a good end to our palm section. If there's any questions in the chat about palm, this is the best time to ask them. Otherwise, we need to interrupt the next soybean section for palm questions. But we'll see them coming into the chat. I think there's a lot going on in the soybean world. I live in Chicago, of course. Chicago is an important place for soybean, so I hear a lot of it. But let's start off maybe just how's the soybean oil prices? How are they looking at the moment?
Yeah, so soybean oil price has been on the increase since the recent couple of weeks, over the past 2 weeks. To be honest, based on the recent NOPA numbers for the US S&D for soybean oil for October, we did some quick calculations on the disappearance. So basically, what's the demand for soybean oil in the US? And it's looking good and stronger each month. So even though there is an uncertainty in the US on the biodiesel policy, so there have been a lot of loud statements around big mandates, big renewable obligations next year in the US in 2027 about feedstock limitations. Trump said no more Chinese UCO, etc. So very bullish, but nothing is finalized yet. So as you said, it's very funny. it's exactly the same situation. We are almost at the end of November, and the US policy for 2026 is not finalized yet. That's very funny. But so the biodiesel players, they have to operate under this uncertainty. But even though apparently they do make soybean oil purchases, and this does give some support to soybean oil, but also some de-escalation signs between US China is helping soybean prices, which is also supporting soybean oil. And this filters into Latin American price as well. So for those who maybe think that it's just the US prices, no, what happens in the US obviously impacts other origins and destinations.
Yeah, you quickly mentioned de-escalation between China and the US. What's been happening? What have you been seeing there?
Yeah, so I think everybody followed the news. That's super big for many markets, not just commodities, but stocks, probably just indexes that are traded, S&P, I don't know, whatever. And at the end of October, there was a meeting, President of China, President of the US, and then the US side made quite some statements, bullish statements, saying that China agreed they would buy a lot of soybeans from us, I think 12 million metric tons in this quarter, and then 28 million metric tons each year or something. Please don't hold me for these numbers. I need to refresh my memory. But US said China will buy. And then news came that Kosenkov purchased quite some US cargo. And this caused quite an increase in soybean prices. Very strong increase. I don't remember how much it is in percentage, but very, very strong. But at the same time, there is this uncertainty, as always, exists, because I think there is no document signed at the moment. So it's funny that these days you hear so many statements from everyone on different stuff, on biodiesel policies, EUDR, trade agreements, but signatures, they come much later, with a big delay sometimes. So it's not signed yet, and China sends controversial signals. So I think after these positive statements, China signed large agreements with Brazilian companies for soybeans. And people think, all right, China has already purchased a lot of soybeans for Q4. They don't know what to do with it. That's the first thing. Second thing, Brazilian beans are much more competitively priced because of the import duties as well. That's on the one hand side. And on the other side, you hear US saying that everything is good, beans will be purchased. So I'm just trying to say that the situation is complicated, and US might still end up having a lot of beans in storage at the end of the season. But at the moment, markets prefer to be positive. So I think people say, let's be positive, everything will be okay. So prices are moving up, but I think there are still, let's say, it could be fragile in certain cases. So if we do realize at some point that the volumes are not coming into China, prices might cool down significantly.
Interesting. And you shared a really interesting article about this on our WhatsApp chat as well. I will start a poll asking anyone who wants to join, who's not in the WhatsApp chat yet, to the WhatsApp chat. Yes, no need, and then I will. There, it should be on your screen now. A really interesting article. I think, especially what you just mentioned about the uncertainty still living in the market, despite some positive signals that we don't have signatures. And the question is then, does it fundamentally actually pan out as optimistic as the market is now making it seem? Maybe that's a good summary before we go into our European rapeseed and sunflower section of this webinar. And I think starting off with rapeseed, how's the situation looking with rapeseed in Europe? How's the supply looking?
Yeah, so rapeseed situation is looking interesting with the seeds specifically. So this year, obviously, Europe had good production of rapeseed during the summer, the recovery from the previous bad year. Also, Canada had good canola production, and Australia expected to have good production. Ukrainian production is very bad, but it's sort of offset by the production in other countries. So that's on the production. But what are other important sort of parts of this equation is beginning of the stocks were very low for rapeseed. at the beginning of this year, and imports from Ukraine have been very weak into the Europe. So this is for the supply side. So yes, we do have strong production of rapeseed, but beginning stocks and imports are not great. And also the demand for rapeseed from the crushers is strong because of the poor sunflower harvest. So they just rely more on rapeseed in Europe. So this, I wouldn't say it creates very tight stocks, but according to our estimates, it's maybe around 12.3 million metric tons, and you can find it on the highlights, 12.3. So this is above last year's 11.5, but below a few year average of 13.3. So I would say it's about 1 million metric tons below than the average number for the previous 4 years, right? So the stocks, they're better than last year, but not as, I wouldn't say that the normal level, right? Because of this. So it's still, it's not massive for rapeseed. And when it comes to basically, the supply side, I would say, what caused this, let's say, tighter stocks, part of the reason was basically weaker exports from Ukraine.
Okay, but with that supply side picture looking that way, how will exports then evolve?
Yeah, so I was talking today to our Ukrainian partners, and basically, let's say some difficulties with the export procedures in Ukraine because of the new duties, export mechanisms, but also prices, good prices offered by local crushers for rapeseed. The volumes were not coming out of Ukraine, not much, really, much slower than in the previous years. But in terms of export availability, I would say I heard the estimates of around from 1 to 1.5 million metric tons of rapeseed that still can come from Ukraine this year. But I would say maybe Europe will try to compensate it by potentially taking some cheap Canadian volumes, right, for the biodiesel, and potentially from Australia as well. Some of the volumes can come, but so far, exports haven't been good. We need to see what will be the imports in the following maybe 3-4 months.
Okay, clear. And well, you briefly mentioned sunflower just now, and you said that it also has its effect on the rapeseed markets. But how is sunflower oil doing at the moment? Have prices started correcting already a bit?
Yeah, sunflower oil prices have been very strong. It's still the most expensive oil among 4 major oils because of the poor crop in Ukraine and Russia. So initially, global sunflower crop, let's say in midsummer and beginning of the autumn, was expected to be good, surplus, but now it's basically a deficit almost. And taking into account beginning stocks, I think it should be deficit this year. And because of that, prices were very high. But I would say now what I hear that farmer selling is improving in Ukraine, for instance, and sunflower prices are going down slowly. So that could signal potentially the beginning of the correction. But people say that with the higher chance, correction should come closer, maybe in December, January-ish, when we get a bit closer to the Argentinian crop. So Argentinian harvesting will take place, I think, between March and April. So, and before the crop, people will slow buying, awaiting cheaper, maybe Argentinian volumes. But what I hear in the market, basically the sentiment, that correction might have started now, but maybe it will be more it will gain magnitude, the correction in December, January-ish. I would say that will be my answer.
Okay, I think that's clear, and that's already giving a bit of an opening towards the last section that we want to cover today, and that is going into more of an overall price outlook for 2026 for the major veg oils, and talk about your expectations there.
Yeah, so as we already covered a bit palm oil, so as we discussed, potential decline in production and will be a major factor, plus potentially any biodiesel mandates that do become realistic will probably create an upside risk for the palm oil price. I heard various estimates, and I think those who were at the conference as well. So it's, I think for 2026, people peg it at $1,100 or maybe between $1,100 and $1,200 across 2026. This is for BMD CPO price. And for Europe, of course, it will be plus transportation costs, export taxes, EUDR premium, if the EUDR does take place. But I think some companies will continue with the EUDR anyway. But not to get sidetracked, so palm oil looks bullish for 2026. Soybean oil, yeah, biodiesel policy again is a big thing for US, but also for Brazil, which is looking to increase biodiesel mandate. So this will likely limit exports globally for soybean oil. Plus, also Argentina has, sold quite some soybeans to China, which might decrease soybean stocks in Argentina, which is the key exporter and crusher and exporter of soybean oil. So soybean oil might also be tight from the export perspective in 2026. So also on the upside, sunflower we discussed, it will probably correct and get closer to probably lose some of the premium, not all of it, but some of the premium will be lost in relation to other oils, maybe in end of Q4, Q1. But overall levels, right, might stay probably stronger than in the previous season because of the tight sunflower supply. That's the third oil. So again, bullish. And rapeseed, rapeseed in theory should have a good supply. I mean, in practice, probably too. Some exports delay that we mentioned from Ukraine currently not giving you abundant rapeseed supply in Europe, but probably the situation will improve a little with the Australian crop and maybe some Canadian volumes. But based on the tightness in other oils, I think there could be just maybe a bit more demand for rapeseed oil based on the sunflower situation. And in Europe, people know that rapeseed oil and sunflower oil, they compete for the market share, that they are the direct competitors, for example, for crisps producers. So in this case, rapeseed oil will also pick up some of the bearishness, but might stay at some discount potentially to sunflower oil just because of the seed supply, right? And maybe with some discount to other oils too, we need to see. But that's roughly the situation. So there will be, of course, seasonality. When you have harvest, prices will be lower, etc., etc. But overall levels will be probably stronger. That's, I would say, the sentiment, and that's the overall that's what numbers point to for now.
Super clear. And while I share your latest market report where people can read in-depth insights on, from freight rates, of course, the major oils that you also just discussed, but also laurics, olive oils in there. So a lot more insights per product. I've shared it on your screen to use. We've also gotten a question in the chat, which might be a little bit of a repetition, but I think a bit more depth on here. I'll put it on the screen for you to read.
So I would say, so do you need to read it out, or you think people can see the question?
I think people can read it.
Oh, people can. Okay. I just wasn't sure if it's just me seeing it or what it is. So for palm plantation expropriation in Indonesia, so the government, as we said, is taking control over some illegal plantations, let's say, right? And it's taken them under control, and the government might manage them itself. It's still, I would say, a bit of a discussion there, because I heard various insights / rumors / speculations, because it might be the case that the government will keep the management of those plantations to make sure that production keeps running well, right? Or it might replace them and cut the costs. It might become a shareholder of those. There is so much speculation around it. I would say the general view on that is bullish, that production might drop in those plantations that have been seized by the government because they might apply less fertilizers. And I think the second part of the question, is this expected to continue? I think, yeah, they've got the, if I'm not mistaken, the target in terms of land area. I need to double check, but that's what on my mind now. They've got this target in terms of land area, and they're not there yet, so they will probably continue taking some land pieces, and we'll continue seeing this news. But again, Glenelg Economics, which is the expert in that region, smart people who we do talk to from time to time, they said that it might not have a short-term impact, but rather a longer-term impact, because your fertilizers applications, etc., it's not going to be visible the next day if you put less fertilizers, put it this way. If you put less fertilizer today, it doesn't mean that tomorrow, your production will collapse, right? It doesn't work that way. Palm trees and palm fruits growth is not a super quick process. But yeah, I would say overall, if I wrap it up, the view is bullish on this, and in the longer term, it might impact the production and decrease the volumes.
Clear. Well, thanks for that. I've shared your latest report on the screen, and with so much happening in the world, with also very big regulations for 2026 still at play in all of the major regions, there's enough moving parts to look out for. So we hope to see you back again in 2 weeks' time, and we'll continue, and then maybe with some more clarity, maybe without, but we'll definitely keep you updated and tell you exactly what's happening. I want to thank you all for joining us today. Gehrman, I want to thank you for all of your insights once again, and we'd love to see you back in 2 weeks' time.
See you, Feiko. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.